know you really like your Strongwoman stuff as well, don't you?
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
And I think we spoke as well that the way that you approach powerlifting and the way that you approach
I have a lot more focus for Strongwoman than I do for. I take powerlifting seriously, but I don't focus how other people focus. Like, I go to comps and I see people get right into it and they're thinking about what they're doing and working through the list in their head, and I just kind of have a bit of a laugh and talk about far more than I should. And I just don't do that at Strongman. It's serious business.
And why do you think that is?
I think because I know I can win.
I
know that powerlifting is just me versus me because my numbers are they're not right up there, and you can't fake that. Whereas Strongman is just heart and stubbornness and mongrel, and I have plenty of that.
Right. So, where'd you get your stubbornness from? What do you call it? Your mongrel?
Yeah, it might be an Australian thing, isn't it? I don't know. I have no idea. I guess it was something that I was good at right from the word go, and that's kind of been like, alright, well, if someone tells you you're good at something, then, I don't know. I just feel like I can win, and I can do well at it, whereas powerlifting I get in my head. So...
Do you overthink powerlifting and just do
it's the numbers? It's the numbers thing.
Okay.
Like, I know what I've done in the gym, and I know that's a number I can lift, and once we go past that, then I'm like, oh, right, I don't know about this. Whereas Strongman, it's like, there's a rock. Pick it up and move it. Well, I can do that. That's fine. I don't know how much it weighs, so I'm just going to try and pick it up. So I think that has a lot to do with it. And a lot that you're head-to-head with someone.
Okay.
So I don't move fast in training. I don't move fast at all. Like, I'll do my farmers as slow as a person can do farmers. But if I can see a girl out the corner of my eye moving faster than me, I'm going to move. So I think, that has a lot to do with it. Like the proper
you like that kind of, pushes you on a little bit. Do you think that kind of, do you think that happens to everybody, that it pushes them on, or do you think it freaks some people out?
I think that's the thing, like, being told that you're good at something and thinking that you're good at something. I think some girls get out there and they're probably like, this is not my event and I'm not good at it, and I think that plays into it a lot. So if you go into something thinking that I'm going to be shit, then...
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah,
so, this is going to be difficult, but I think that's probably the same with any kind of sport. If you kind of go in thinking, oh, I'm not going to be good at something, the world's generally really fair and goes, oh, no, you're not.
You're putting it out there for yourself, and I think... I can't remember what I was going to say.
And it doesn't matter, because we can cut that bit out. We can carry on waffling for a while. When did you do your first Strongwoman and your first powerlifting, and does your training change?
I did a couple of powerlifting comps. My first powerlifting coach, I wasn't allowed to look at the strongman equipment. He wasn't having any of that. So I kind of did one on the fly in November 2014. And I think I came third. So that was promising. That's what I was going to say. I think the thing with Strongman is that I haven't done the events. Like, you haven't done a lot of the stuff. Because it's always a bit of a mixed bag. So, and I find that motivating. If you've not tried to do it in the gym, you don't know that you can't do it.
Yeah, good point.
Like, if you've never picked something up that looks like that, how do you know you can't do it? So I think that's another thing with the training. I don't train Strongman at all, ever. I train the events once before a comp, and I think that obviously it's not how most people do it, but I don't get in my head, and I don't...
Do you think then you use the powerlifting as a strength-based thing to...
That's my whole theory, is that I just have a really good strength foundation from powerlifting, and it's controlled, and I'm not going to get injured because it's their movements. They're like controlled movements that we do every week, whereas I know that if I look at the log, my arm hurts. Right. Like, if I try to pick up a stone, something's going to hurt.
I think the risk for injury is much higher in strong.
It probably doesn't have to be if you have fantastic technique, but I don't have fantastic technique. So.
But the risk for injury, because you're moving with something where it's sort of like more, the powerlifting, it's very, very static in it, and if you start, I don't know.
You have a spotter, you have this, you have that.
And moving with something, the risk factor just goes through the roof. So which one do you prefer?
I prefer Strongman.
You do?
Don't tell anyone.
I won't. We won't tell anybody. This is our secret. No. If you could, what advice would you give somebody starting out now? Whether that be, what would you give somebody advice if they wanted to do a bodybuilding competition, a powerlifting competition, and a strongwoman competition?
If they wanted to do a bodybuilding competition, I'd tell them not to do it. Please don't. Powerlifting and strongman, the same thing. Sign up for a comp and just go and do it. Don't wait until you're strong enough, because you're not going to be strong enough. Mm-hmm. Just turn up and do it, and you'll learn. And I think that I've done a lot of comps, so I get a bit of grief for it. Mm-hmm. You're always competing. You learn a lot when you compete. Yeah. You learn to compete. It's one thing to have like a 500 kilo total in the gym. Yeah. But if you turn up and you're under pressure and you've never been under pressure before, and you can't deal with other girls, and you don't know when to put your apps on, and you don't know when to do this or that, or you don't know the calls, you're better off, you've done a novice comp, or you've done 2 of these comps before. Yeah. You're not going to get your 500 kilo total in your first comp just because you did it in the gym. Like, sign up, do it, have a go. Yeah. Everyone's lovely. No one's going to have a laugh at you.
And that's the thing, is that most people go, I can't do it because, and nobody wants to make a fool of themselves. No. I think that really isn't, wherever you go, whatever you do, nobody wants to make an idiot of themselves. And when you're on the platform, it's just you. But the thing is, I say to people, I've never ever seen anybody laughed at, ever. No, doesn't matter what they do, everybody's really kind of like hands-on, and unless you're a complete and utter dick, and then you'll just be, people will let you know that you're just being a dick. But nobody I've ever seen laughed at. And like you say, you get so much experience that I often say to them, it's not the best lifter that wins on the day, it's the best competitor. Yeah, that's it. The one that compete the best, the one that can deal with adversity. Yeah. So if someone throws you a curveball because, I don't know, your line of vision is slightly different, or as you put your knee wrap off it falls out of your hand, and it's that kind of thing that makes a massive difference, and it is the pressure. Yeah. And you either like it or...
And I swear that I've probably podiumed a couple more times than I should have. There were better girls than me there, but I compete better. Yeah. And that might have a bit to do with the giggling, and the giggling is my calm thing. But I'm not a focused, get angry. I'm not a worked up person when I compete. I'm pretty chilled out. So I think that having that experience has helped.
Yeah. I think we're slightly different. You are a giggler. I'm quite solitary when I compete, so I'm very, very focused. But once you get me kind of within, speak to me half an hour before or half an hour afterwards, completely different story. But again, not excessively kind of psyched up. I like to tap myself away. It's
interesting to watch people at comp too, the way that some people pace. Yeah. They pace. I think I'll just throw things, and it's wow.
If it goes wrong. Yeah. And dealing with not getting it right, I think that's really, really important.
Oh yeah.
If it goes wrong, do you then sort of carry on, worrying about, it went wrong, and then you overanalyze it, and then that takes it over kind of onto your next lift. I think one thing that you can learn to do really well is just let it go. Yeah. It's gone, done, dusted. Yeah. You've got to, you've got to kind of move on. What advice would you give yourself if 2 years ago, so if you were starting out or maybe when you were starting out doing the bodybuilding, what advice would you give yourself?
Probably just to be consistent. I've gone through periods where I'm a pretty consistent person because I like structure, and I like lists, and I like doing things and being able to check them off and say, yep, done. But there have been periods where I've gone 3 months and I've kind of fluffed about with my training, and I didn't finish my accessories, and it makes a difference. And you can tell when you've had a solid 12-week prep and you've done you've hit every single training lift that you've been programmed. It pays and it shows. So I guess that if I went back 2 years, I would just tell myself to just stick to the plan. Don't go looking for other more exciting things. Just do what you're told. There's a reason that you're paying someone to tell you what to do. Yeah. They know what they're talking about.
And as well, just at least go through it, and then at the end of it, you can kind of go, that really, really worked. Or actually, it didn't. You can't say a program didn't work if you didn't do it. Yeah.
Exactly.
And you know yourself, don't you? You know yourself when you're kind of pushing out on something. What kind of, because you're with your job, you would often have to work sort of like 7 days on and 7 days off. So that must be quite challenging.
It is.